spiel. Hey everybody, welcome to Trivia Ronin. I'm your host, Matt McNally. Whether you're joining us live on Zoom or Twitch or after the fact on YouTube, welcome. We are happy to have you. Quick breakdown of the rules. You all know them. One, we're honor code trivia and always have been. You keep your own score. If you don't want to keep your own score, here's Trivia Rat. You can scan that with your phone and then I keep your score. Either way, we're honor code because there aren't any prizes. So, don't cheat. Why would you? Number two, you have 45 seconds to answer after each question. Do not show your answer until the time is up. That applies to you in Twitch as well. For Twitch, folks, number three, due to the delay, wait until there's about 5 seconds left before you put your answer in the chat. That way, everybody can answer at the same time. Tonight on Trivia Ronin, there are 30 questions with a 10-point story question at the end. No music tonight, but yes, Wayla tonight. I even did a thing in Wayla where I'm actually going to show the answers because it's time for that technology upgrade after 9 months. So I'll actually have something to show you between each Wayla. He says confidently, a few bonus points sprinkled in. Otherwise, let's get this thing cranking. Let's play Trivia Ronin. Moving straight to question number one, ripped from the headlines. This man was born Prince of Greece and Denmark and recently died as Duke of Edinburgh. What was his first name? What's his first name? Starting Rat now. Rat has begun. 45 seconds. Timer has begun. Da-da-da. This man. This individual. Fun fact. Doesn't speak Greek or Danish. Sorry, didn't. Now dead. Doesn't speak anything. He's just dead. Born Prince of Greece and Denmark. Recently died as Duke of Edinburgh. What was his first name? 17 seconds left. The sun is staying up later, so my green screen is working not as well. We have a solution. I just didn't put it up tonight. So ignore the ghost right here. Or enjoy it. 3, 2, 1. What was his first name? Show him, everybody. Yes. I'm not making spelling count. It's Philip with one L, but Prince Philip of Denmark and Greece and England. And question two. Question two, built in 1799. Archibald Gracie Mansion is the home of what elected official? 45 seconds. The Archibald Gracie Mansion. Often known as the Gracie Mansion. Home of what elected official? What title do you have to live in Gracie Mansion? Or you just need to be really good at picking locks. Either way will work. Who lives in Gracie Mansion? Don't need to tell me the name now. 2, 1. Andrew Yang might live there soon. Show him. Governor, vice president. But T-Girl got it on Twitch. It is the mayor of New York lives in Gracie Mansion. Mayor of New York City. The only one who didn't. Mike Bloomberg had a nicer house. But Bill de Blasio's living there. I know, T-Girl. Tell your friends. I don't know. Maybe it's a slow Wednesday. Question 3. Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, Lee Merriweather, Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, and lately Anne Hathaway all played what iconic character? 45 seconds. First bonus opportunity. You can give me character name and alter ego name. It's a 2-pointer. T-Girl, it's your chance, though. You could win Twitch tonight. Uh-oh, 2 people just joined. Dangerous. To those who have arrived. Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, Lee Merriweather, Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, and lately Anne Hathaway all played the same iconic character. What's her name? And I would like, this is a 2-pointer. One for the obvious, and then one for the alter ego. 2, 1, show 'em. Yes. Ooh, and you nailed the spelling this time, Steven. Yes, indeed. Catwoman, a.k.a. Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle is her pre-cat name. Catwoman. post-cat name. How Michelle Pfeiffer is going to fuck with the Batmans. Question 4. We all love movie magic, but only one actor has ever received an Oscar nomination for playing a wizard. Who is it? 45 seconds. One actor got a nom for playing a wizard. And it's taking everything I have in me to not do an impression. Sometimes I have to sit on my hands back here, just not give the question away. We all love movie magic, but only one actor has ever received an Oscar nom for playing a wizard. Who is that person? 18 seconds left. I don't need the movie. Just need the actor. 2-1, show 'em. QVC, love where your head's at. Ozzie Smith, yes, indeed, was in a movie. But yes, it is. Say Ian, wizard, you shall not pass. Cut. Say Ian, he did, in fact, play a wizard. You realize I'm not, in fact, a wizard. He said, yes, I would like for you to play one for the duration of the film. Question 5. What plant's name, when translated to English, means man root? 45 seconds. Man root. And how did I know what to say? They wrote the words down for me in the script. How did I know where to go? They tell me. Ozzie Smith, real QVC, give yourself a point, that Ozzie Smith answer, because I believe did also play a wizard. Didn't get a nom. But he was the wizard. What plant's name, when translated to English from its original language, means man root? But I'll be honest, you know it in its original language. That's your 10-second hint. You've only heard of this. You haven't heard someone say, hey, pass the man root. But you might have heard someone say, hey, you got any blank? Show 'em. Mandrake is a great guess. Potato is another good guess. The original language being Chinese, however, in this case, and the answer being ginseng. Ginseng means man root. I know. Well, we learned something, and that's what's important. Question 6. In traditional Monopoly, there are 4 different railroads. I'll give you 3 of them. Pennsylvania, B&O, the Short Line, and what? What's the 4th railroad Monopoly? Gotta love these obnoxious Monopoly questions. I would tell Marissa to grab our board, but we have Socialist Monopoly, which is slightly different. And by slightly, I mean very different. I know. Rack your brains, I'll stop talking. In traditional Monopoly, there are 4 railroads. Pennsylvania, B&O, the Short Line, and what? Remember, original Monopoly is like East Coast, Atlantic City based. I don't think that'll help you. But, you know. It helps me because I know the answer. 2-1, show 'em. Atlantic's a good guess and the Red Line's a good guess. But the answer is Reading. Reading, Pennsylvania, or the Reading Railroad. Either way, who knows? I assume it's Reading because that's a town in Pennsylvania. Question 7. Love this question. This is a 2-pointer. The Beatles named a whole album after Abbey Road, but they also named 2 songs on the Magical Mystery Tour LP after streets. Name both. 1 point each. 45 seconds. And here's your hint. Neither street is a road. Neither one is blank road. The Beatles, famous rock group from the 1960s. They had 2 songs on the Magical Mystery Tour LP named after streets. 10-second hint. One's in England, one's in Los Angeles. And I was hoping Doug would be here because one, I Google Maps'd it, is literally a quarter mile from Doug's house. Then we'd all know where Doug lived. Yes, show 'em. Yep, that's one of them. Steven, Sunset's a good guess because LA, but yes, one of them is indeed Penny Lane. The other one is Blue Jay Way. So Penny Lane will get you a point. Blue Jay Way would have gotten you another point, but I don't even know that song. But Blue Jay Way is up in the Hollywood Hills. Who knew? It's like right behind the donut shop. Question 8. In 1873, what artist painting... Oh, John Lennon was there for a summer. That's why he named a song after it. What artist painting named Impression Sunrise gave a name to the Impressionist movement that was to follow? 45 seconds. Is she trying to come in here? Okay. Hold, please. Hold for Cat, please. Come here, little one. You can come in. Oh, but I don't want to stay here. Cats indoors. We might get a cat cameo. I doubt it, though. In 1873, what artist's painting named Impression Sunrise gave a name to the Impressionist movement that was to follow? I didn't know this, but when you know the artist, it makes sense. And honestly, 5-second hint, guess at an Impressionist and you'll probably get this. Guess the one Impressionist you know. 2-1, show 'em. Yep, show 'em. Yep, okay, yeah, exactly. Sometimes the questions are that easy, guys. It's Claude Monet. Claude Monet did it. Claude Monet, good work. Janelle's grandfather, Claude Monet. That's not actually true. Question 9. What's bigger, Earth or the Great Red Spot on Jupiter? 45 seconds. It's an easy binary here. This is an easy overthinker. What's bigger? The entire planet Earth or that one storm on Jupiter? That one storm, it's been going on since like the 1600s. That's when they first saw it. Probably earlier, honestly, but can you imagine being in a storm that long? Seems exhausting. Pack a raincoat if you're going to Jupiter, and also you'll be squished by the gravity. Also, it's gas. 2-1, show 'em. Yes, yes. Twitcher's real quiet. I'm worried that I've lost my Twitch feed. It's fine. It's the red spot. You were right, guys. It's twice the size of the planet Earth. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter. Who knew? I did, because I looked it up. Question 10. On the Domino's Pizza logo, going from the heavens to the very mundane, how many dots are there in total? Domino's Pizza logo. I know I could look it up on the app on my phone, but please don't do that. You know I got that app on my phone. On the Domino's Pizza logo, Ann Arbor Zone, how many dots are there in total? Yep, right there. Darcy's got your hand. Darcy's got your handy map of Michigan. How many dots are there in total? Oh, the logo's a domino, guys. There's your second sentence. I'm really acting like the Noid here. Ooh, QVC guessing. Seth Ron's back. Guesses. Okay. Well, here's the answer. There's 2 on one side, 1 on the other. 3. 3 total. 3 total. That's 1 round. Welcome back, Twitch humans. Good to see you. You guys know the drill. Twitch crew, Twitch crew. I like this. Ronanites on Twitch. We love ya. Guys, take 3 minutes. Welcome, everyone. Plenty of time to catch up because, hey, we're just having a casual night. 3 minutes. See you soon. Darcy's also on both. Bye. Goes a little something like this. Both the cast of 90210 and Saved by the Bell, despite being on different networks, ended up attending the same fictional state school named what? That was a harder question to read than I anticipated. The cast of 90210, Rat has begun, new round. And the cast of Saved by the Bell attended different schools. Sorry, attended the same school, different names. Fictional state school. And let me just say, I did not confirm that this is the school attended in Saved by the Bell, the new class, I believe, or whatever the one when they're at colleges. But when they graduated, they all were going. That's a great question, Emily. Good to see you. Or a great guess. But it is not that. Steven, that's their high school. Both of you are correct. It is their high school. Their college they attended, however, was very simply named California University. Real creative writers' rooms. Real creative writers' rooms at both those shows. Question 12. The 1974 Oldsmobile Toronado was the first car to include what now standard safety feature? 45 seconds. I know. T-Girl, that was just a straight up. Sometimes I just throw in nobody's going to know this, but if they guess something, they'll probably guess right. That was that one today. The 1974 Oldsmobile Toronado. By the way, fly automobile, the Oldsmobile Toronado. Dope looking ride. But it was the first car to include what now standard automobile safety feature. 74. Emily, it happened earlier than that. Tara, also, it happened earlier than that. We're not monsters, but yes, show them. Steven's on the case. Guys, we're not total monsters. We had seatbelts in the 60s. Airbags in 74, guys. First airbag, 1974. Oldsmobile Toronado. Drivers and passenger side airbags. Good for them. Question 13. Speaking of safety, what speed did the bus and Speed have to maintain in order to not explode? 45 seconds. In the movie Speed. Hi, Tara. In the movie Speed, the bus, to be fair, again, guys, I'm always here to be fair. The bus initially exceeded this speed, and then once that happened, could not go below this particular speed. What speed was it? By the way, when you live in Los Angeles and then see a bus expected to maintain this speed, like during rush hour, you're like, that's funny. This bus would have instantly exploded. 2-1, show him. QVC's on it. Dude, Emily, so close. That is the speed limit, but the actual speed in the movie was 50 on the dot. 50 on the dot. Pudman nailed it. Question 14. 77. Order 77. No, that's order 66. Numbers are hard. Question 14. Every year from 1993 until 2000, the same legal-minded author held the record for the best-selling book in the United States. Who was it? What was his name? It's a guy. And just to give the props necessary, it wasn't like one book lived on top of that list. This individual wrote 7 different books, and every book he came out with was the best-selling book in the United States from 1993 to 2000. Guys, Speed's a good movie. Don't beat yourselves up. Dennis Hopper, good actor. Yep. Twitch has it. Show him. Yeah. Yep. Of course. Let me be Pelican brief about this answer. It's John Grisham. Sethron L. Woods will get you a half point for Legally Blonde. Won't get you the full point, though, because the answer is John Grisham. Question 15. The former Russian space station Mir was the largest artificial satellite in orbit until it fell to Earth in 2001. What does Mir translate to in English? There's 2 answers to this. For those who speak Russian. Hopper's always onto something, man. Waterworld, Speed. He was a national treasure. The former Russian space station Mir was the largest artificial satellite in orbit until it fell to Earth in 2001. Don't worry, it burned up on the way back. What does mirror translate to en anglais? I'll give you a hint. It's not mirror. If you're guessing that. Funny joke. Not the answer. 2-1, show 'em. I like that. Mother in rotation. It would be a great acronym. Home. Home is such... Wait, I love that we both guessed the same thing. I guess we were cheating off each other's tests because we're both wrong. It's peace or world. World or peace, but I like home. Home would be nice. James trying to get a point through Twitch by writing MILF. Also Meta World Peace. Yes, well done. Everybody trying to get a point for something funny, but I'll give you none. Question 16. This math term means a real number that cannot be expressed as a ratio between two integers. 45 seconds. Pull out your textbooks, kids. Ooh, we got some bikes on the highway. This thing on. This math term that you've definitely had to hear at some point. Maths. This, or sorry, for any Canadian or English viewers, this maths term means a real number that cannot be expressed as a ratio between two integers. As in, following the decimal point, there's an infinite number of random numbers. So like 1 divided by 3 is 0.333 forever. That's not one of these. But if it was like 0.594226, pi is one of these. Show them. Yep. Oh, good guess. But everybody else got it. Irrational number. It's an irrational number, everybody. Irrational. I know. We're all just thinking too irrationally right now. In 1966, former Harvard clinical psychologist Timothy Leary organized the League for Spiritual Discovery, a religion based on this psychedelic sacrament. 45 seconds. That's a wordy question. The hint is in there, so I'm not going to give you one. Tara, how dare you? Just a quick how dare you to you. In 1966, former Harvard clinical psychologist Timothy Leary, no relation to Dennis, organized the League for Spiritual Discovery, a religion based on this psychedelic sacrament. '60s were a cool time. You could be a Harvard clinical psychologist and then start a religion based on psychedelics. Yep. Everybody got it on Twitch, and Steven got it. How do we do? Yep, everybody got it. League for Spiritual Discovery, or LSD. LSD. You got it. He was all about that LSD life. Acid gets you a point, too. In 1932, this chocolate and nougat candy bar made its debut alongside the now defunct strawberry and vanilla varieties. 45 seconds. What candy bar am I talking about? Candy bar questions are tough because you're like, which one's the one with just the... Is it with the without the peanuts? But with the caramel. But without the nougat? But the one with the nougat. Give you a hint on this one. Don't think like that. In 1932, this chocolate and nougat candy bar made its debut alongside the now defunct strawberry and vanilla varieties. Or varietals. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not some kind of word expert. I'm some kind of wordsmith. 3, 2, 1. T-Girl, you're going to be mad about this answer. Tara, you're also going to be mad about it. Oh, Steven understood what I was saying. Yes, indeed, guys. So, there were 3 varieties. They got rid of 2 of them. But when they launched it, the 3 musketeers were the strawberry, the vanilla, and the chocolate. The chocolate, apparently, the only good one. No surprise there. 3 musketeers is the answer. 3 musketeers. Here's your obligatory Latin question. In Latin, pollux was the term for what opposable part of the human body? 45 seconds. Please don't overthink this one. I'm looking at Larry. You've been thinking too much today. Don't overthink this one. Right? T-Girl, I don't think they exist. I think they went defunct. I know. More tequila will help. Each one's been heartbreaking. I can tell you had the answer and switched it. It's been one of those nights. One of those nights when the team effort doesn't help. In Latin, pollux was the term for what opposable part of the human body? Doesn't have to be necessarily human, but the Romans were just talking about the humans. Yep. Twitch got it. Show 'em. Yeah, exactly. Don't overthink it. It's a thumb. Honestly, good. Like every time you have the best guess. The best guess, but it's always been wrong. Oh, never mind. What happened here? Let's make this prettier. Question 20. If you take a barbell from the ground, grip it, then stand erect with your knees locked. You did 1 rep of what exercise? 45 seconds. No, I don't believe a strawberry. Three Musketeers will save you, Tara. Guys, Doug is not here. I am concerned he has blood clots, but not that concerned. He is J&J vaccinated. He got in that one week window. If you take a barbell from the ground, you grip it, then you stand erect with your knees locked. There it is. I'll just do one more. Looks real bad on this camera. You just did 1 rep. 1 rep of a yes, Steven. Yes, Larry. Twitch is on their own tip. It's a deadlift, guys. Deadlift. That's what a deadlift looks like. If you ever want to be a weightlifter, all you got to do is just stand up. Boom, that's 2 rounds. We're doing great. I'm gonna figure out Larry's score. It's gonna be funny. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Tally up your scores. We're coming back with Wayla. Gonna be fun. Bye-bye. Yeah, there's no surprises here. We're doing Wayla. It starts immediatamente with question number 21. Who's this guy? 45 seconds. Oh, also, sorry, scores as you think about it. Pud, where you at? Real quick. I know you know this one, so where you at? 15. All right, the Pudman's at 15. I see a 9 on Twitch. My labors are at 10. Anybody's game still. 29 seconds. Who is this? Who is this? Ah, this is how I did it. Who's this human? T-Girl, you wrote so much, and yet it was the wrong answer. Oh no, everybody. If peeing in your pants is cool, all your answers are wrong except for Doug. It's Miles Davis. Miles Davis is that person. He also played the trumpet. Dizzy had bigger cheeks, and his trumpet was bent. What is this a logo for? What company? 45 seconds. Don't worry, you don't need to know photos of deceased jazz musicians. That is the last one I'll ask, at least tonight. Also, T-Girl, it's unfair. I did already ask a Dizzy Gillespie question, so not your fault. You weren't there at the time. What logo is this for? Oh, sorry. Yes. What is this the logo for? Yeah. What company? This is a corporate logo. It's a PNG, so it showed the background with it, which makes me feel fancy. Thanks again. Thanks to Bing. Not a sponsor. 2-1, show 'em. Yes. Former automotive great. Maybe. I think they still make cars, though. They make other things. It's Mitsubishi. That's the logo for Mitsubishi. Illuminati. Doug with a half point. Time to make the comeback. What flag is this? 45 seconds. This is a flag of a sovereign nation. The obligatory flag question. Give you a hint when you see a crescent. There's Islam involved somewhere. It's just a pro flag tip. If you're throwing a dart at the board. What flag is this? 10-second hint, it was news adjacent this week. This country. News adjacent. And by that I mean literally adjacent to a country we were talking about today in the news. Yes, T-Girl, you got it. Saudi's a good guess. What do we got? Algeria, Jordan. No, it is adjacent to the country of Afghanistan. This one is Pakistan. There it is. Pakistan. I've asked a question about this person before. He was playing a character, but what is the actor's name? What actor is this? 45 seconds. Doug, that is correct. And I also believe the Mitsubishi Eclipse is the official car of Cahuenga Boulevard. The official car of Selma is a Maserati, but the official car of Cahuenga is a Mitsubishi Eclipse. The official car of Selma outside of the Dream Hotel. 16 seconds. What actor is this? Who are we looking at? First and last, por favor. I'll tell you what, when you bing this individual, yes, Emily, you got it. You're a theater nerd. When you bing this individual, yep. Emma Thompson will get you a half point, though, because I like that answer. Ex-husband. Oh, that'll definitely get you a half point because I believe it is, but it is Kenneth Branagh. Kenny Brands. You know we love our Barefoot Contessa on here. This is a photo from her of a particular Middle Eastern grain-based dish. What is that grain-based product we're looking at? 45 seconds. Emily, not a nerd, just a theater major. In fact, theater majors quite the opposite of nerds usually, because usually we were theater majors because we were bad at other things. Also that. Well said, Marissa. Also because we're narcissistic. Who's It's not beef stroganoff. It's not lobster. What is this dish of Mediterranean origins, I think? Show 'em. Yes, yes. One word or two, I'm not 100% sure, but I wrote this word, couscous. That's how I think it's spelled. Who's to say? Me! All right, so the next one, here was your preview. This is the unseeable, unknowable creature Cthulhu, an invention of sci-fi writer who? 45 seconds. Sort of back in the zeitgeist this year. Steven's got it. Steven's got it. I just need a last name, really, but if you know more, that's fine. But Cthulhu, it's funny, because in the book, I'm told, I haven't read it, because I'm scared of it, but Cthulhu is a monster that destroys the world. But you can't really describe what it looks like, but everybody seems to say it looks like this. So I think in the book they also tell you what it looks like, but they're like, nobody could figure out what it looked like. Yep, Emily's got the full name on Twitch. 3, 2, 1, show 'em. Yes, indeed. Oh no, Elron is a sci-fi writer. The one we were looking for, H.P. Lovecraft, as in Lovecraft Country. Okay, well that's fair. That is fair. Do you wear pants? Because that's the next question. What kind of pants are these? 45 seconds. Apologies to those that don't wear pants. Okay, fine. I need a geography-based answer to this question. There you go. I mean, always, Steven. Sorry, have we not made that clear here, Trivia Ronin? Doug, I'll need some approval on that, but I'm pretty sure it's a solid. I believe we had a nude Ronin one time, Doug. I didn't attend. So these short pants are named for in my mind, when I Googled them, they're named for a location Twitch got it. In a certain country called Italy. Yes, of course, they are capri pants. Or pedal pushers. Oh, sorry, that's the next one. Start thinking. Capri pants! That's what we're looking for. Now you know the next one. Who's this lovely chap? 45 seconds. You remember. You remember. He's, that is true. They are Capri Sun clam dingers, is what Douglas guessed, and I'm with ya. Pedal pushers, also valid if I didn't get so specific. I know, Seth Ron, right? You forget this guy? I definitely read these books. And also, much like Queen Elizabeth, married to his cousin. Fun fact about this character. Married his cousin. Just like Princey Philly. R.I.P. Well done. Show 'em, kids. Yeah. Of course, everybody knows Babar. It's Babar. There he is. Delightful Elephant King. Love it. What kind of dog is this? 45 seconds. What breed of animal is this an example of? It's not a lobster. It's not a lobster. R.I.P. Babar's cousin. I saw that in the obit. This dog is not red. Just tell you that. What breed of animal is this? Breed of dog. I mean, obviously, I'll give you points for. I'll give you a point for the movie title also. Not an extra point, but if you can't remember the breed, I'll give you a point for the movie title. Yeah. Yep. But you all remember. Yeah, of course, Doug, you got it. Indeed, Charles Grodin. Charles Grodin is the correct answer, everybody. This is a Saint Charles Grodin or Saint Bernard, depending on who you ask. And last but certainly not least, this is a publicity still from what film? 45 seconds. That's Bruce. That's Samuel L. That's Johnny Travs. And that's Uma Thurman. What movie is this from? And I'll tell you in 30 seconds why this is a question, because last night at the establishment I work at, somebody tried to order the burger that's on the menu. It's called the Le Royale Burger. And he said, "What's it like?" And I said, "Well, have you seen this movie?" And he said no. And then I said to the 8 other people illegally at that table, "Have you seen that movie?" And all 8 other people had not seen this film. Sure, Doug's listing all the Tarantinos. Doug's listing every foot shot in every movie. Yep, Steven gets a half point for Django. It's Pulp Fiction, of course. You get a half point because I know you knew it. Pulp Fiction, a.k.a. The Lobster. David Foster Wallace. There we go. So that is Wayla. Oh, no, Emily. Yeah, of course you got it. And you even had a sunglasses emoji, which gets you another half point. Another half point to Emily for a sunglasses emoji. Salute on Wayla, everybody. That's round 3. Take your time. Make some friends. We'll be back with story time. It's a lot of fun tonight. We're doing a bougie story. Bougie story. Welcome back. Story time is a lot of fun today. Because I'm actually thrilled about today's story because I fell into a rabbit hole courtesy of the good people at the Atlantic magazine. I stumbled upon an article that really just did the story for me today. So thank you to the author of that, who I, of course, forgot to actually give credit for, but I'll figure it out later. Anyway, it's a good story. It's about gemstones. It's about fancy things. We're getting bougie tonight. We're talking about fancy stuff. Specifically tonight, we're talking about the world's largest pearl. So Let's start on the island of Palawan. That's where we're going to start off. May 1934 on the island of Palawan. I know, right? Palawan hype. May 1934, a diver goes down. A fisherman goes down in the sea, goes swimming, finds a giant clam, brings it back to the surface. He actually dies because he's been down so long, apparently, but brings this giant clam back. It goes back to the chief on the island, and he opens it up and realizes there's a giant pearl inside of this clam. And in the pearl, he holds it in his hands, and he sees the face of Allah. And he goes, oh my God, this is something sacred. I can't believe it. It's come back. So he names it that. He calls it the Pearl of Allah. And of course, with all of these stories, some American shows up and says, hey, that looks cool. This American's named William Dowell Cobb. He is an expat American who's been growing up on Palawan. He offers to buy it. The chief says no, that this is clearly a sacred gem, so it can only be earned. It can't be bought. Then the chief's son gets malaria, and this Cobb man gives him atarbine, which is a malaria drug at the time. I hope I'm saying that right. And the son recovers. The chief is so grateful, he just gives him the pearl as thanks. And, of course, as we've guessed by now with the American view of the story, that's all bullshit. Actually, what happened is Cobb just bought this big stone off this guy, and he took it to the States in 1939. So actually, at this point, Cobb was a grown man. He had a family on Palawan, but he takes the stone, and he goes to America to exhibit this fancy pearl at Ripley's, believe it or not, New York City. So he goes there. So that's bullshit story one. Bullshit story two, that then this man makes up later on, in the 60s actually, is that in 600 BC, it's a fun story tonight because I'm just telling other random stories. 600 BC, we're going all the way back there. The founder of Taoism, a man named Lao Tzu, he places a jade amulet that he has carved himself of what's called the Three Friends. It is Confucius, it is Buddha, and it is Lao Tzu, all carved together. And he has his followers place it inside an oyster in the south, like right outside of where he is in the south of China. They put it in an oyster, and devotees harvest it for years and years. I like this. We're doing lightsabers. Harvest it for years and years and continue to move it from oyster to oyster as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so eventually this thing becomes so big it can only be in a giant clam. Now, how does our guy Cobb figure out this story? Because as he tells someone in 1966, a Chinese man named Mr. Lee shows up and tells him the whole story and says this pearl is one of the most important things to the Chinese culture, and I'll give you $500,000 for it today, even though it's probably worth $3.5 million. Cobb refuses because, again, from the earlier story, he's a good guy. Yes, of course, there couldn't be 600 years before C, or CE for that matter. So that story, the one where he's offered 500,000 and it's actually 3.5 million, funny enough, Cobb comes up with that story in 1966 when he is planning to sell this pearl for the first time. Now, he gets it appraised by a man named Lee Sparrow at the San Francisco Gem Lab. That man says the stone is worth approximately $40 to $42 million in actuality. Cobb says, that's amazing, but of course I can't sell this. I can't. I couldn't possibly sell this. Basically, people start interviewing Cobb saying, you're sitting on a $40 million pearl in the 60s. What are you doing? And he says, I have what the richest man in the world does not have. Also, he was a prison guard at San Quentin Prison, so he just had it with him on his desk. $40 million pearl. But guess what? This dude dies. This dude dies like everybody dies. He dies in 1979. The IRS then appraises the stone because it has to be passed on to his inheritors. The IRS appraises it at $200,000. Not that much. So still, I mean, a lot of money, not that much. Family's okay with it. They're like, sure, whatever. Sounds good, but they don't want to pay the taxes on it. So his descendants end up selling the pearl to a man named Victor Barbish. Now let's talk about Victor Barbish because he's another fascinating dude. He is almost the quintessential legitimate businessman. Do you know what I mean? Just one of these guys who owns a bunch of stuff, but you know some shady shit's going on. So he first comes on the scene. He's running an illegal bridge parlor in a town called Laverne, California. It's called Vic's Steakhouse. So he does have a steakhouse, but then he's running an illegal bridge game, which is the most 1960s thing I've ever heard. Gets busted by the city council. Every time he does, he just donates a bunch of money to like a boys club in town and then tries to get away with it. And then they sort of get off his back, and then the same stuff happens. So he also, in his younger years, he adopts his own niece because his sister-in-law dies. His niece is an orphan. He adopts his niece, which sounds nice, but he tells the niece that he had a one-night stand with his sister-in-law, which also his wife was going along with. His wife was like, yeah, that's true. He tells her he had a one-night stand with his sister-in-law, and he's actually the niece's father. Turns out wasn't. 50 years later, the niece finds out 50 years later and figures out that her dad died 3 years before she figured it out. That this guy was full of shit. So not a great dude, even though I guess he raised this girl, but like, tell your kids the truth. Just, that's your Trivia Ronin note for the night. So anyway, this guy's like kind of a scumbag, dare I say. Anyway, he wants to buy a giant pearl. So he does. He hears there's one for $200,000 for sale. He takes his restaurant money, he buys it, he moves to Colorado Springs. After he buys it, he starts telling these stories, including he takes these old stories from Cobb and runs with them. So he says, Mr. Lee's grandson heard about the stone, wants to buy it for $1 million. Victor Barbish has a friend in the CIA who links up with him in China to get this pearl sold back to them. Except turns out that CIA agent, he has bypass surgery and dies on the operating table, and after he dies, the check is missing, and he says, I don't know what happened, I can't get back in touch with Mr. Lee's grandson. Bummer, but someone wants $1 million for it, at least. So he starts a company. It's called the world's largest pearl company, surprise, in Colorado Springs, where he now lives. He keeps getting these small loans from people. He says, I just need $10,000 to $20,000 to sell this thing. If you give me 10 grand, I'm going to sell it for $40 million, and then I'll give you 100, right? Turns out that's not the case. He also claims that Osama bin Laden wanted to buy the stone from him for $60 million in the year 1999. And then Osama bin Laden told him he wanted to sell it or give it as a gift to Saddam Hussein. Essentially, Victor Barbish saying, I have the proof that Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein were in cahoots because he wanted to give him my giant pearl. Unfortunately, Osama bin Laden was stopped at the border and the sale never went through. That's the story on Barbish's end. Many others have laid claim to the pearl over the years. A guy named Peter Hoffman, who's a Beverly Hills jeweler, he has been running the sale. He was the one who did the original sale but never got his commission because they never actually sold the stone. So he never got a chunk of it. So he's been trying to sell the stone for years, but nobody will sell. He claimed it could be sold for $25 to $50 million. That never panned out. Barbish never sells the stone. Keeps talking about it, has a company basically devoted to selling it, never sells the stone. When he dies, finally, first of all, his niece finds out he's not his dad, but that's its own story for its own time. They get it appraised by an auction house in London called Bonhams. They appraise this giant pearl. The auction house appraises it at around $100,000 to $150,000. So nowhere near the millions again. The surviving family goes, these guys are out of their fucking mind. They're out of their fucking mind. That's a direct quote from Mario Barbish, his son. So they're not going to sell it. They're sitting on it until the year 2016. They keep sitting on it saying this thing is worth multiple millions of dollars. It looks like a face. It's a giant pearl. But let's go back to Palawan. There's a man in 2006 who's also doing what that man in 1934 was doing, because this is a small island. He's fishing. And he puts his anchor down, and the boat gets stuck. And he goes, oh, what's the boat stuck on? He goes down, same way the first guy did. He goes, yanks the anchor. Anchor's stuck. Pulls the anchor up. He goes, oh, it's stuck on a giant clam. So he goes and grabs the clam, and he swims back up to the surface. This guy survives. He feels it's really heavy, and he's like, oh, dinner. This is great. He opens it up. No meat, though. No meat in the clam, but there's just a giant stone in it. So he says, oh, well, it's a nice looking stone. I'm just going to keep it under my bed. And he keeps it under his bed for the next 10 years. And he rubs it every day for good luck when he goes out fishing to make sure he can catch enough fish so he can feed his family every day for 10 years. And then after 10 years, he's retiring and he's leaving his fishing hut. And he has a cousin who's at the tourism board of a town called Puerto Princesa, which is on Palawan. That's the biggest town in Palawan. Works for the tourism board. And he says, I don't know what to do with this stone, but here you go. And then this cousin of his, she posts it to Facebook and goes, hey, we think we might have the world's largest pearl on our hands. Can anyone come out here and just be sure? So they send a gemologist out there. Let me put this in perspective. These guys who are trying to get $50 million for this first pearl, the pearl of first Allah, now Lao Tzu, that pearl is 14 pounds. It's about 9 inches long. The pearl that this poor fisherman brought in for free to his cousin, the pearl of Puerto Princesa, as it's called now, is 75 pounds. And is 2.5 feet long, which is pretty much triple the size of the one all these greedy people were trying to get the money for. So that pearl of Lao Tzu right now, these guys in 2016, after 2016 is worth almost nothing, because if you do want a giant pearl, you're probably going to go get the big one that's on this island, the island of Palawan. So my question is, there's the two largest pearls ever found are right off the coast of the island of Palawan, right off of Puerto Princesa. The question is, 45 seconds, what country owns that island? 45 seconds. What's the country where the largest pearls in the world have been found? It's really my way of shoehorning a question onto a story that I found interesting this evening. Just kind of funny when you're sitting on something you think is worth a lot. Then some dude shows up and is like, oh, I got one 3 times bigger. Sorry. What island? That island is a part of a country. What country is it? Show 'em. Yep. Good guess, Emily. Show 'em. Yep. Show 'em. Ah, alas, it is a Spanish word, and that means it's probably Mexico or the Philippines. It is the Philippines, everybody. Philippines for 10 points. Pudman with the win. The South China Sea, right off the coast of Palawan, is where the largest pearls are found. Holland, Doug, that'll get you 2 points. So that's it. Pudman for the win. What's that final score? 33? Scottie Pippen. Coming in with that Scottie Pippen number. Dude, the 75. I mean, it must have been like it must have not been too deep, right? Like he had to be able to sort of do a deadlift perhaps. But yeah, crazy. 75-pound pearl, and that's not including the shell. So good for him. His name is lost to history, sadly, which I'm bummed about, but that's the world's largest pearl. It's not that shiny though. I'll be honest with you guys. If you're interested. So that'll do it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to grow this experience. It is in my script right here to say that, but it doesn't make it any less true for all of us here at Trivia Ronin. My name is Matt McNelly saying, don't be shitty. Don't worry about gemstones because they'll probably be worth nothing the following day. And we'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.